there, scientists and engineers. Miss Bobby here. I'm here with my co-producer and videographer, Toby, and we're making this short video to introduce you to the activities and all of the wonderful things about the Berkeley Marina. There are interesting plants and animals. There are lots of different kinds of activities. People of all ages use this marina, and the best part about it is we are very, very close to the Pacific Ocean. We have lots of migratory animals that use the bay, and we'll be introducing you to some of the various unique aspects of this place. This is also a very important place for the native peoples, and we'll be learning about that also. I hope you enjoy this video, and bye for now. To get detailed information about the marina and all the activities and classes, go to the website for the City of Berkeley's waterfront at the City of Berkeley. Here we are. We're looking at all the water sports that you can get access to at the Berkeley Marina, and it's a windy day today. So you can tell there's sailboats out there, there are windsurfers, there's all kinds of activities that you can do at the Berkeley Marina. Lots of people like to ride their bikes, they picnic, there's all kinds of interesting fun things to do. So lots of different people use the Berkeley Marina. Another very unusual kind of activity you can do at the Berkeley Marina is called the Adventure Playground. And in this situation, students can come in and build things. There's lots of nails and hammers, so students are encouraged to come and create things out of wood. So one of the other great things about the Berkeley Marina is they have a really fun place for students to come and climb, and you can see that my co-producer is enjoying a really nice swing on the swing. This is the Nature Center, and there are a lot of classes for students in science and environmental studies, and fortunately a restaurant. One of the other obvious uses of the Berkeley Marina is for people to store their boats, and there's all different kinds. These happen to be a bunch of different sailboats, but there are different kinds of canoes in here, and there are also houseboats, which you may or may not have seen before. One of the animals that you're going to see at the Berkeley Marina is a ground squirrel, and they live in the rocks, and they eat the food that people feed them, but they also can get seeds and insects and other kinds of things to eat. Looks like that one may be trying to look for some seeds. No, we're not going to feed you today. One of the interesting kinds of birds that has come to be known in Berkeley are all the turkeys, and I'm sure you've seen them in different places, but they've definitely spread out into the marina because they find all kinds of really good food to eat here. This part of the Berkeley Marina is really great for walking and for it's very shallow, and even though the rocks are slippery, it's very interesting. And in low tide, you'll be able to see many different kinds of algae. Scientists and engineers, this is one of the best places to come and sample the plants and animals that come in from San Francisco. Francisco Bay. You notice that there are a lot of floating docks. What we're going to show you is where to collect the samples and how to do it if you're interested in the plants and animals that you can see from San Francisco Bay. Our scientists and engineers, we're down at the pier and we're going to be sampling the organisms that are attached to the floating docks. And right now you can see a couple of seagulls, and you can hear more in the background. These are gray ones, and they're a little bit different plumage than we sometimes see. Okay, scientists and engineers, when you get to the edge of the dock, you can look underneath. I'm not going to put my camera down too close because I don't want it to get wet. But right underneath the dock, attached to the dock, you'll find lots of plants and animals. I'm going to show you how to sample. Notice that the sampling equipment I'm using is not fancy. I've just recycled a container that had salad greens in it, and I'm also using a recycled container that had milk in it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get water because the wind is blowing so hard, and oftentimes we don't want the sampling equipment to blow away. So here I'm just pouring in the water, and I'm going to use the water to just weight down my sample holder. And we obviously want to do that first. Now I'm going to reach my hand over the edge of the pier and I'll feel around and see what I can feel. And oh yeah, I was able to pull up some algae. So here is this one is called ulva. It's a kind of algae. It's the only green one that we know. I'm touching this particular organism to try to figure out, is this a sponge or is this something called a tunicate? I can feel that the surface of it is a little bit scratchy, so I know that this is a sponge. Whenever you collect organisms, you're always going to want to put them back, and don't worry that they're not attached. They'll be feeding a fish or some invertebrate down below. Unless you're going to take these to the classroom and use them for school, please put them back before you go home. So this is a different kind of algae. It's a red alga. You can tell the difference in the color. And this one, we know, because it has these little bumps on it, we know this one is called Gigartina. You'll also notice that there's kind of a lot of sediment. It's been windy the last several days, so some of this sediment has landed on the Gigartina. I'm going to put the Gigartina back in the water. And this is, you can see this lovely, very filamentous, feather-like red alga, and also another filamentous green alga. We'll identify those when we get home and look in our book. I'm going to put this one back in the water. And here we go. We've got a couple of different organisms. These are actual animals. This one is a mussel, very, very common, attached. And then I'm going to do the same thing I did before on that other organism. I can't tell necessarily just by looking, are we talking about a sponge or a tunicate? I'm going to use my finger to just stroke the surface. And sure enough, instead of feeling like jello, this feels just like it has little tiny pricks on it. And those little tiny pricks are from the sponge, and they're made out of sand. It's amazing. This one, also another sponge. Scientists and engineers, you might not have ever been to this part of the Berkeley Marina. There is a refuge, a wildlife refuge here, and if you look, you can pan around and the habitat and the organisms that live in this part of the marina are going to be very different than the ones that are next to the water. We're going to take you inside the gate and walk along a little bit and show you some of the plants and maybe some of the animals that live here. You can tell that there's a lot of different habitat here, and birds. This would be a really great place to come and do bird watching. Today's kind of a windy day, and I think the birds are just hunkered down because there's just a little bit too much wind. Birds were, because it's so windy today, I think we found a whole bunch of them. I think they're just hunkered down so that they don't get blown away. That's some sort of a shorebird with the long legs. We'll have to look that one up. Wow, interesting the way they're using their beaks and their big pouches underneath to catch the fishes. Obviously they've got something because they're doing a lot of swallowing. See, we learn something new every time we come out here.
There's 5 of them.
I know. They're really big. I was looking around.
Do you think it's so nice? Do you think they like know each other?
Oh, I bet they do. I bet they do.
A little flock of them.
Uh-huh. But that behavior is so interesting. I mean, it's almost like more of a wading duck behavior. This whole group has started feeding together, and they're moving upstream from this area of the marina, and they seem to be trying to find all kinds of maybe invertebrates or something that are being kicked up by their activity. The Bay Area has been home to many different groups and tribes of native peoples for thousands of years. Today, many local indigenous peoples self-identify as members of one or more of about 58 distinct regional cultures that are grouped under the umbrella term Ohlone. We're going to be learning a lot about the Ohlone peoples and their cultures this year. Hello, scientists and engineers. Miss Bobby here with my co-producer and videographer, Toby. We hope you enjoyed our brief video about the Berkeley Marina and the animals, activities, and history. We're going to bring you more videos in the future. So, goodbye for now.